Hey everybody, so we're working our way through our Anthony Hamilton playlist. So Anthony's going to be logging on in just a few minutes. So we're so excited to talk about all of his previous songs and his a new song coming out on Friday that we're going to be debuting during the show. Lots of exciting content to talk about. So I could just sit back and relax for a minute and enjoy some of the great Anthony Hamilton songs. 18-time Grammy Award winner. Uh, Collaborated with so many amazing artists like Angie Stone, Jill Scott, Nas, so many amazing acts. So we're so excited to go into all of his hits. And Anthony Hamilton is a triple threat. Not only is he an amazing singer, he's also a record producer and a songwriter as well. All right, so I guess we'll go through some more. All right, well, we were going to wait, but we can always play it again. So this is the new Anthony Hamilton song produced by Jermaine Dupri. You Made a Fool of Me. You can never do wrong. And you know how I do. But you chose to break my heart. You were sleeping with another man. And you had him all around that. You never said you were sorry for what you did. And I can never do. You made a fool of me. I gave you all. I gave you all. I made a fool of me. You had me wrapped around your heart. Oh, I wasn't worth not I'm there from the start. Yeah, nobody. You like no. Oh, no. Never stand by you. I gave you all. Hey!
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry about that. It was telling me to go through Facebook, so I just took a chance to do it on the
Well,
other
we're
thing.
right in the middle. We're going to wait, but we'll play it a second time. Turn it up, Lady C. We're right in the middle of the premiere of You Made a Fool of Me.
Oh, thank you.
You can play it a little bit. We'll play it one more time.
Thank you.
Sure.
I give you all I have. Girl, you know I love you.
You can never,
Never do no wrong.
and you know I adore you. But you chose to break my heart. You will split me from love man, and you have all
All for real.
you never pay your
I'm
way.
sorry for what you did. And I can never do you like that.
You made
You
a
made a
fool
fool of me.
I make you
I gave you all I had.
made a fool of me. No, 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 no.
Oh, I, 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 oh,
And welcome
I.
back to this week's edition of Style and Empowerment Chat with Laura and Friends. I to quote the Pointer Sisters, I'm so excited to welcome this week's guest, 18-time Grammy nominee and winner, singer-songwriter, producer, activist, chef, fashionista, activist, philanthropist, all-around amazing and inspirational artist, Anthony Hamilton.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
So we just debuted a double. So we're so excited to have you on the show, and to
Uh-oh. I think it's my reception.
it's raining cats and dogs here in Philly, so I just everybody be
Oh,
patient, bear with us. We can't always control the weather and the technology, but we're here.
we are here.
So I'm so excited. Yes. So we're going to talk about your new song in a minute, which we just gave our listeners a double shot of, which is fantastic. So
Thank you.
I just want to kind of rewind for a minute and kind of go through some of my favorites. And you have such an illustrious career to chop into. So now, many of our listeners, you started out in the church, but you were discovered by Andre Harrell and
Yes.
Uptown Records. So, can you just reflect a little bit about that time and him discovering you and your relationship and time at Uptown Records?
Yeah, Andre was a great visionary. Actually, he inherited me from a guy by the name of Mark Sparks, who produced for Shoot for Salt and Pepper, uh, and some stuff for Mary J. Blige. So he took me to meet Andre Harrell and Jimmy Jenkins, and Jimmy Jenkins was really a big fan. So he took me to Andre, and they made the deal happen. We did a showcase at D&D Studios. Russell was there. I think Puff was there, and if I'm not mistaken, it was a big deal. And I don't know if Biggie was there. I thought I saw Biggie, but it was back then, man. And I sung my butt off. I sung my tail off, and I won the hearts and ears of Andre Harrell. Hello, is this thing on? Uh-oh, must be the weather.
I apologize for that. Okay, so you were saying, I'm yeah. So hold on. Hold on. Hold on. All right, let's see. Worst case scenario, we're just gonna have them call in. No, hold on. Hold tight, everybody. Hold on. Yeah. I'm gonna see about just having him call in, because the connections. Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. Are you there? Copied. And Andre certainly really was a visionary. And there you are. Okay. There we are. And we're back. Reunited.
Reunited,
Okay.
and it feels so
Yeah, it feels
good.
so good. Reunited.
So it's storm. You said it's storming there.
Yeah, so it's like cats and dogs here. You
Yeah.
got beautiful sunshine, and we got cats and dogs. So I thank
No,
everybody for their patience.
we had cats and dogs yesterday.
Right. So okay, so rewinding, you were talking about um, you're starting out at Uptown Records with Andre Harrell back in the '90s, late '90s,
Mhm.
right?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. So
Yeah, and so
I did the showcase at D&D, and I won the hearts and ears of Russell Simmons. All those guys were there. So it was a showcase of a few artists, and I sang from a place that I won the ears and the hearts of Andre Harrell and Jimmy Jenkins, and Uptown MCA was my first home as an artist, and that was a dream come true because Jodeci were from Charlotte, North Carolina, and that was my dream group. So to be on the same label to open up for them as an opening act, I was on my way. I felt like.
it was amazing. And so now our viewers and listeners might not know, so we're throwing out lots of gems today of knowledge. So Anthony also started out as a background singer for another king of soul, D'Angelo, and you were on the Voodoo tour, correct?
Yes, I started at the end of Brown Sugar tour and went all the way through the Voodoo
Mm-hmm.
tour. Yeah, yeah. So singing with D'Angelo was like going to like Harvard or any top academy for learning the best of everything musical. And I learned a lot. I took showmanship, leadership, and a lot from him, and just I honed my skills.
Mm-hmm. So now talk about like your process. Like for instance, what we actually have had on the show, some of your previous collaborators, which we'll get into in a bit, Carol Riddick,
Oh
Raheem
yeah,
Devon, Maxi Priest. Uh, yes.
yeah.
Carol, of course, as well started out as a background singer and then launched her solo career. So it always kind of intrigues me. What's your process like? Of course, you're a performer. You're a performer. The same principles stand regardless of what your role is on the stage. But there is a big difference when all the spotlight is just on you and creating your image, your performance style as the main attraction, as opposed to the accompaniment. So, can you talk to us a bit like what that was like in the beginning and finding your stage performance style and relationship with the audience?
You know, being on that tour with D'Angelo, we were wild and raw and watching James Brown and all those amazing groups, Bootsy Collins and George Clinton. I was brought into that part of it, and seeing people perform at church back home, I knew when you have an audience, you need to captivate them. You need to give them something to remember you by, and if you have to
Yeah,
bust it wide open, you better bust it wide open and sing your heart out. So that's what I did. I
just go
took
there.
Yeah, I took that. all and turn it into myself. Allow myself to learn how to be my true self, whether the outfit was perfect or not. The inside of my spirit was ready to sing, and the songs were already embedded in people's hearts and minds. So my thing was to go out there and tell the story in front of them.
Hmm. And that's so true. I feel that there's a lot of artists nowadays that have lost that. Knowing when you
Oh
perform,
yeah,
you're telling a story. It's not just singing a song.
yeah.
That you're acting out the words, and that's what the audience really responds to.
Hmm. It is. It's just a connection. It's a give and take connection that makes it beautiful and makes it magical. Yeah.
So now, in your illustrious career, you have been nominated for a total of 18 Grammys. Like,
Woo.
what does that? I even feel like, just so amazing. And when you were first starting now, could you even have imagined that your work would be so respected and acclaimed, where you would amass 18 Grammy nominations?
You never, I used to say as a child, I'm going to be famous singing, but I never thought Grammy famous. I never thought being nominated or
Mhm.
going platinum and singing with the likes of the people I've sang with. I just knew I was going to do it and it was going to make a difference, and I was going to travel with it. But to be nominated 18 times, to win a Grammy with Al Green, all that stuff, you can't fathom it at that moment. You just, you're just so in awe of your achievements and the things that God has allowed you to do with the talent.
And
It's truly
talking about
surreal.
a fellow icons, Al Green.
Yeah,
I mean, he's one of the four-founders, architects of R&B. And like yourself, he is also very much rooted in the church.
yeah.
Can you talk to us a bit about? Oh, hold on one second. Hello. Hey. Yes, we're all good. We're all good. All
Hmm.
right, thank you. That's Eli checking in. Yeah,
Oh
we
yeah.
had a little technical difficulties because of the rain, but we're riding through and we're up and everything's great. All right, thanks. Yes, a shout out to Eli and Michelle for. I do have to say on a sidebar, your team is awesome, and
Thank you.
it makes what we do on our side so much easier and smoother when the artist has such a great team like you do. So
And
shout out.
that's so important too. That's very important for artists, for anyone. Like your team represents you. You
Mhm.
represent your team. So if everybody is playing their role and doing it and has integrity and honor and passion, you can go far.
Yes, and
Yeah.
it's really about sharing the same vision.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
So important.
So, so now, you of course are an accomplished songwriter. So can you talk to us a bit about when you first found your voice and talent, not only just as a singer, but as a songwriter, and made that decision that, look, I'm going to write my material and finding your way as a songwriter?
It started pretty early on. I didn't even know I could write a song. My brother at the time, Keith Way, he had a record company here in Charlotte, North Carolina. So we were trying to go somewhere. So we had studio time, and I had to go in and write a song. I wrote a song called "Waiting for You." I'm still waiting for you, waiting for you. I'm still waiting for a clue, my baby. And I wrote that song at like 14, 15 years old, and it came out really good. And I was like, wow, I must really have this gift. So I started getting better at writing, paying attention to songs and paying attention to the songs that made me feel a certain way. And I wanted to give that same melody, lyrical content, and just tell a good story that people could love. So that started pretty early on, and I've been writing ever since. And I'm glad, because you write the song, you can eat for a long time.
Right?
Yeah.
Which segues in to another topic I want to chop up with you, and this is a reoccurring this topic we talk a lot about on the show with the artists. You know,
Hmm.
empowerment. Empowerment is owning your work and what happens with it, and having the most equity because you own your masters, you produce, you write. So, can you just kind of talk a bit about that and give advice to other artists of, uh, knowing what's happening in their business and owning as much of it as possible?
Yeah, it's very important to have some ownership. With ownership, there's freedom and there's power, and there's control. You have an inside look at what's going on, and you have leverage to dictate whether your career could be successful or not successful. And if it's not, and you tried your all, then that's okay. But if you put it in the hands of someone else and they control it all and it's successful, you don't really have any control, or you don't have any right to own, to 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 be rewarded with what your work is making. And
Hmm.
and when you own it, it's a lifetime thing. It's like, this is something I have. This is equity. This is you know something tangible that I can take with me and take it to the bank.
And
Hey,
that you can
yeah,
pass on to your children.
yeah, you can pass it on to your children as a part of your legacy, and it's yours. It's valuable, to own your stuff as much as you can. I know, starting out, sometime first time artists, you have to make sacrifices and you have to give up something. They got it all mapped out. They're gonna get something some way or another. But if it could be a even playing field, it's better for you. And
Exactly.
it makes it takes the passion from you when people steal and take from you and you don't have any control. You feel like, what am I doing it for? I don't see any rewards for it. I'm not making anything. But when you have that, you have every incentive to go out and make the best for everybody on the team, whether it be your publisher, your record company, or your team. You know.
Right. Because producing, publishing,
Hmm.
writing, that's where, for those who don't know, unless you're in the business, you just listen to the songs on the radio, watch the music videos, vibe out, but you don't think about the other half of it. And each song, it's divided into points, and
Yeah,
whoever really creates the song tangibly, not just singing the song, but creates the song, gets more percentage money from each song. So
absolutely.
that's why it's so important, artists, be on top of your business.
Yeah, so important, because it's a lucrative business. It's a lucrative entity to be a part of if you're smart and if you um, you know make preparations for yourself to be successful. And that's from reading your contracts, knowing what they mean, knowing what publishing mean, what splits mean, what points mean. These things are important. You know, and you want to know that and save your money. Don't go out buying
Exactly.
everything that you see everybody buying.
Exactly.
Videos are videos, and that stuff is rented a lot of times. Um, so, that's so important. I got one. I drive one
Yeah.
car. I got my SUV, and then I have an old school '71 Kingswood that I have fully restored. And I don't have a bunch of cars and a bunch of stuff. I may spoil myself with a nice sports car coming up. I've been working hard, but I'm not about to drop four,
Right?
$500,000 on no car. Nah, I can't see it. It doesn't make sense for me to own something with four wheels and it
When
has.
you could buy a house or send all your
Yeah, you
kids
could
to
buy a
college
house.
with
You
that
can
same
feed. You
money.
can feed some people. You can do so much for so many other people. I think. I think God makes us allow
Mhm.
us to be successful, to help someone else be successful, or to help bring a difference to somebody else's life. I don't think fame and success is just our own. I think it's definitely something we should pass on and share. That's how I feel. And I sleep good at night
Exactly.
knowing that.
Well, I agree. At the end of the day, but it's so true what you were saying. And I talk a lot about this, like, what do you value? What do you consider wealthy? What are your motives? For me, it's, yeah, we all would love to have these multi-million dollar deals and all this money and equity and all that is important. But it's also, well, is your work
Yeah,
bringing you joy? Are you touching other people? Are you putting positive imprints in people's spirits? Which for me is the most valuable emotional currency beyond, a Lamborghini or a vacation we can take. Are we putting something of worth into people's consciousness?
yeah, that's important, and you have to have a good balance, heart and spirit, and you know morals. Morals come in it's so important not to lose your morals and lose those things that your family instilled in you at an early age.
Hmm.
Being decent goes a long way. Being a nice person goes a long way, no matter how famous you are. You want to make sure that you're helping people, and even if you're just kind to them when you're in their presence, that makes a difference. People want to help you when you're kind and you respect each individual as if they are just as important. So I
Exactly.
pride.
And we're all struggling and going through different things at different times. So that is so important. How we treat ourselves and how we carry ourselves through life. I think Anthony just dropped his phone, so we're just gonna continue to chat. I know he's gonna be back up in a minute. So our viewers may not know that Anthony has written songs for many accomplished films. I was so excited to discover when I was doing my research that Anthony actually co-wrote one of my favorite songs from one of my favorite movies, Donell Jones' song, What's Up, from Save the Last Dance, which, of course, in the 90s, that movie was so iconic, and was all over MTV. And so then he also uh, co wrote the song Do You Feel Me, from the critically acclaimed and Oscar winning film American Gangster, starring Denzel Washington, who, of course, won his second Academy Award. And then also he wrote the song Freedom from another Oscar nominated film, Django Unchained, starring Jamie Foxx. So, of course, writing for films is a whole different process than writing for just your album. Or for, there we go. Uh, and we're back. Okay. Mhm. All
There
right.
we
We're
go.
rocking in, we're rocking in the road. I'm holding it down. I knew you'd be back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I stayed and waited on you like I was waiting on Charlene.
That's right. We're here.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I was just while we were waiting for your return, I was so excited when I was doing additional research last night, preparing for our chat,
Uh-huh.
that one of my so now we're gonna go into talking about some of my favorite songs of yours. I have it broken up into categories.
Oh
So
wow.
first, so first I want to talk about my favorite songs from films. So this just made me have a total fangirl moment. Take me back to my teenage years. That was just yesterday.
Of course. You know, me too.
Right?
Feeling
Okay,
so young, fruitful, and fabulous. I was. I
that's
tell you. You know.
right. So, Anthony co-wrote one of my favorite songs from one of my favorite movies, which was such a big moment on MTV, pop culture. So, Donald Jones song,
Oh
"What's Up?"
yeah.
I from Save the Last Dance.
Thank you.
I've been waiting for years to go to Steps and Main Squeeze night. I got my fake ID and everything.
Yeah, you gotta have it, man. Get you one. Get you one. Get in the club
Right?
early. Get set up.
Come
Yeah,
on.
you know.
Of course, not only was that song featured in the film, but it was like one of the pivotal scenes
Mhm.
in the movie when Sean Patrick, wait, Patrick, what's his name? It's three names. I always mix the Michael and the Patrick.
Yeah.
uh, Hi. And Julia Stiles, he's teaching her how to
Mhm.
dance all hip and stuff. She's a ballerina, and he's trying to give her some street edge to her style. And then
Yeah.
they're there in the studio. He's teaching her how to bounce and bop and,
Bob,
and
get that down. Bounce that thing. Mm.
So
Yeah.
talk to me a bit about because that was your first feature film placement of music. So can you talk to me a bit about how that collaboration came and like the first time you're in a movie theater and you're hearing your one of your songs on the big screen? That must have been just so thrilling.
You know, I was working with Chris Lighty and Dave Lighty, those guys, and Balawa in the studio, and it was at a time where I had been signed for a long time, and my record deals kept falling through for some reason.
Mm.
But this was a blessing to be a part of this song, and when I heard it, I was like, "This feels special." I don't know exactly what's gonna happen with it, but it feels special. And so the fact that it's on the movie, I was like, "Wow!" It continued to live and find new home. I've been,
Mhm.
I've been successful enough to and blessed enough to do movies. Um, I was in American Gangster. I wrote two
Yeah,
songs for that movie. Um, Step Up, um, Best Man Holiday in that movie. Did the
another
duet
one of
with
my favorite movies.
yeah, Marsha Ambrosius. A lot of movies I've done. Django, sung for Django with Boynton. Um,
And
yeah, I've
Freedom.
done a yeah, Freedom. Yeah. So just to be a part of the movie scene, it means that not only are you, you're influencing people in the um, record business, but people in the movie, find your sound quite
Hmm.
interesting, quite beautiful, and quite necessary. So it's always good to be able to cross over and to be a part of anything creative.
And music and film and art and fashion, I always say it's like water. They all inspire each other
They
and
do,
feed
man.
each other.
Yeah, it's so important because when I hear a great song, it makes me want to put on a great outfit, and when I put on a great
Yes.
outfit, it makes me want to dance to a great song. You know, and when I see a painting, I was like, you know what? Those colors are beautiful. The artist must be pretty fly. So you want to mimic that energy that you feel with anything you do. So I love it.
Now, I had the honor about, I guess it was 2 years ago now, to meet Denzel while covering. He was receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award out here at
Mhm.
the Children's Theater in Jersey.
Yeah.
About Denzel, but And we're back. We're kidding. So I was just saying I had the opportunity to meet Denzel, covering him receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award, and he inspired so many people in film, music, and just culture. But you
Yeah.
actually had the opportunity to work with him side by side. That must have just been such a spirit moving, uh, off kind of moment, and just seeing his energy pass.
Such a professional, such a gentleman. Um, he remembered meeting me at the 70th anniversary of the Apollo Theater in Harlem. And
Wow.
the first thing he said to me on set was, he said, hey, man, how you doing? It's good to see you. I said, good to see you too, Mr. Washington. He said, I bet you don't remember the first time you met me, do you? I said, 70th anniversary of the Apollo Theater? That's right. That's right. That's right. It's good to have you. Pat me on the back. He said, do good. And we had a ball. He had a way of charisma to, people were all in awe and wanted to take pictures and do all that. He said, we're not here for pictures, y'all. We're here to make a beautiful, beautiful movie. And once we finish, we can do anything other than what we're doing now. He said, but right now we gotta just stay on our chops and and make it amazing. And people would like, okay, that is why we're here. We're not here to fangirl out and fanboy out. We're here to make beautiful because we're all here on this stage. And he made you feel like you were a part of the same caliber of success that he had, and it went a
Mhm.
long way for me.
And again, he just has so much class. And one of the many things that just impressed me, just observing him being himself, even when he didn't think the cameras were on him. He was so attentive and
Hmm.
chivalrous to his wife. Like he had all these people crowding around him. That's over here, over here, and he's working the crowd and this and that. And he's all his eyes always there. Where's Pauletta? Is Pauletta okay? You know, and
Yeah.
he had his eyes everywhere, and literally every single person, speaking to what you were saying earlier about treating people with kindness, and graciousness, no matter who they are,
Mm.
every single person he interacted with, he was warm and kind and generous too.
Yeah, yeah, and that goes a long way in the industry where it creates monsters out of people sometimes because the greed
Yeah.
for success and for attention, and the battle for status. But he's removed from it, and I was blessed to be able to share that moment. So it meant a lot.
So now, some of my other favorites. I have to give you a spotlight and say thank you. Something we talk a lot, I talk a lot about on the show is that, in videos and film and stuff, you don't always see a lot of women in the romantic roles and whatnot that have all kinds of different body shapes. And that plays a part in how women are seen and treated, and size shaming and dissecting people's bodies, and female entertainers and people feeling entitled just to tear people down. It is a real thing, and it affects women's self-esteem. And I absolutely love that you stepped up to the plate with Sister Big Bones, and it's a great romantic song, but it also speaks to, hey, love and attraction and sexuality come in all kinds of shapes and
Oh yeah,
sizes. We're all beautiful. All kinds of women are attractive,
yes.
and not just a size zero. And it's so important. We need more of that out there. And I just love that song. Like, what inspired you to step into that direction?
I've dated some full figure women. I've dated some pretty big women. I call them juicy love, juicy love. And just the beauty that they have, and growing up with grandma, big mama, uh, aunties with a little meat on them, and coming up through school and in church, you see women shapely, get the Holy Ghost, and that thing move a certain way. I just became up. aware as an early boy, like I like the way that looks. I like the way that represents itself. And so I've always loved it. I love a woman with curves. I love a woman with, a little extra handle on her. There's some slim women who got a little, a little meat on them, and they wear it well. And the personality definitely plays a important role. But yeah, I'm just a huge fan of women, just beautiful in all shapes, sizes, colors, and it's beautiful to watch, and it's beautiful to appreciate it and make them feel beautiful. I'm about respecting them and talking to them a certain way and just treating them with respect and being a gentleman. It's what I love to do.
And being a gentleman goes a long way.
Yes, because if you step out of line, you can get your whole head knocked off.
That's right.
So the big bone boy, she got a mean punch on her, boy.
But it speaks to a lot of important points because if we're talking about soul music and R&B music, at the core of it, it's about romance
Hmm.
and finesse. And how are you building up that connection, that romance, that sensuality, the jump off point? If you're not showing, hey, I value you, I respect you in the way I'm approaching you, in the way I talk to you, in the way I touch you, that I appreciate you.
Hmm.
You know, I just don't understand, not only in real life, but in music, where artists think by talking about women in a very kind of disrespectful, marginalizing, objectifying way, and okay, we're gonna play that, and that's gonna set the mood.
You
Like,
know, I think people started to want to shock and awe,
yeah,
and people were getting to a place where they wanted to be the full vulnerable self and expose so much. And I think these record companies and movie companies started to create these movies, and they became really successful. So everybody
hmm,
wanted to portray these certain roles and be a certain way because they wanted success ultimately, and that's what created
right,
these this lackluster non-romantic music. Some of it sounds good, some of it is catchy, and it's like, ooh, did he
yeah,
just say that? Okay, there's a time and a place for it, but you
right.
want to be able to have it should be balanced enough to where the radio is playing enough music to where you're not offended the whole day, and then there's one song
Right,
out of
exactly.
75 that makes you feel like, okay, whew, I don't have
Like,
to
all
duck from the
right,
speaker. They they throwing penny draws and they throwing bottles and beer and drugs out the speaker. You don't have to worry about that if it's balanced, man. So I'm
because
all for balance.
a real, like you said, there's a time and place for everything. But an intelligent, confident woman, a driven woman, a woman who knows her worth and self-esteem, wants to be wooed, wants the
Oh yeah,
romance, wants to see
yeah.
the effort, the
He's a
creativity, the
lonely
thoughtfulness.
girl. She want that sweet tender. Oh, lonely girl. We were lonely drifter in the park. Hey, the lonely girl. So she want that. Oh, baby, I love you. She wanna feel like you coming to her with some kind of decency, some sense, some authority, but there's respect in it, and we got to get back to
And a
that.
reason for her to take pause and be there.
Exactly, because you're more than just your body. You're more than just your looks. You're more than um, just female. You are part of the world that makes it beautiful. Your energy and your light and love and all these beautiful things that a woman represents. And men can never. If I have my way, they'll never forget that because I'm gonna put it in every song I can.
Now, speaking of, okay, so now want to talk about my favorite romance songs of yours.
Hmm.
Third category. So I love Best of Me. It's such a beautiful song. And it really speaks to what we're talking about now in the idyllic sense in relationships. You want to be the best so you can give the best part of yourself to your partner.
Yeah. Well, the best of me is, yeah, you know, giving you the best of me. That says a lot about how you feel about a person. Like a lot
Hmm.
of times you give half, you have assing around, and excuse my French, and you're barely giving this person what they deserve because they're there for you night and day. They take care of your kids, or they're there when you get home from work, or they're just there to build you up and always there to support you. So when you give your best to them, it says that I appreciate your efforts. I see you. I respect you, and I'm going to represent how I feel about you by pouring back into you and giving my all and my best. And we're gonna have fun with it, and we're gonna two-step to this whole Anthony Hamilton song too. I never gonna do it. We gonna do it, baby. We're gonna do it. We're gonna drink wine and throw back some whiskey and whatever, champagne, and
Right?
pop it off. Get it popping.
A little Moscato, some chocolate, you know.
You know what I'm saying? Make this thing sweet. Make this thing personal, like I said.
So
This is
now
getting
another
personal. Yeah, it's getting personal.
another one of my favorites,
It's my
which
little dog.
spent uh in July 2001, is Julie
Uh-huh.
from Philly. This spent multiple weeks at number one adult contemporary charts and platinum. So in Love, that's another one of my favorites.
Oh wow, just Jilly from Philly, Jill Scott, man, one of my favorite voices out there, and just her how she commands like the stage, and she commands people to watch and listen to her. She has a big voice, big personality, and she's a full figured, beautiful woman. And I swear, he didn't hesitate on her.
Ah,
But musically, to collaborate with her was definitely one of the highlights of my career.
mm.
I think that song was one of her most successful songs to this day, and to
Yeah,
be
that
able,
and Golden were like two of her biggest songs.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and man, to be a part of that legacy and to have some ownership in the writing of it, it's special as well. But just the way that song made people feel, made them want to dance, and and it made love sexy and tangible to hear it, to see it in the video, and what it did for people. I'm just a big fan of that kind of music, and I'm definitely a big fan of Jill Scott. I'd do it again.
And then Amen and Heaven are two. Just love the opening
Wow.
vocal of Amen. And,
Thank you.
and like literally, you hear that riff and you just have to just sit and pause. Like
Yeah.
that's not.
Well, thank you.
There's some music you can multitask. I'm like, queen of multitasking and juggling. But when you have certain songs on, Amen is one of them. You just have to stop and let it pour into you and just enjoy.
Thank you. Yeah, Amen was a song, I had been married before, and I was coming out of being separated and divorced, and you start to try to date again, and this particular moment in your life, this beautiful person is like, oh my God, amen, Lord. You know, it's a young lady. Actually, yeah, yeah. Stand around by your parts, who's a special person in my life, been a friend of mine for a very long time, and
Nice.
she's a very stylish person as well. But yeah, she's incredible, and
Well,
I thank God for her.
I often wonder, like with the great balladeers like yourself. I'm a person, of course, who I love music. It's such a big part of me and my spirit. Um,
Mhm.
but like around the house and when you're dating ladies, do they expect you every time? I just imagine like, hey, honey, I expect to see you before you. Let me get your laundry. Honey, can you see me, little song? Yeah, I'll be there in 5 minutes. Like to the ladies, kind of expect, well, I'm multi-talented R&B singer. Can you give me a little something? Like, do ladies expect you to, does it kind of set the bar for yourself in your own personal life that they expect what they see in the videos and in the songs?
I think, yeah, I've had that before. And then I've had people who were just like, hey, let's just do something really simple. And let's let life be what it is away from all the noise. And I appreciate that.
Right,
I appreciate when they can separate it, because it allows me to have rest and to feel like a person,
right.
and to blend in sometime and just not have to
Mhm.
entertain. But every now and again, I might strike a note, you know, something,
Well, I
something.
feel very, very blessed. I wasn't expecting it. I feel so blessed that I've been treated to more than a few in our talk today, and blessing our listeners as well. So
Thank you.
now, so now fashion is a big part of you as an artist. You are known for always rocking a fabulous hat, whether it's a broad brim or fedora. I'm
What are you talking
loving.
about? This whole thing,
I am
right here.
loving this two-tone blue teal
Oh, thank you,
hat you have
thank you,
on today.
thank you. Fashion is important, man. I love it, and designing hats is next on my list. I've been working on it. House of Fedoras is my hat line, and I'm excited to unleash that. Um, but right now, we're working on a full-figured line of clothing, and for curvy women,
Excuse me, wait,
a line of
what?
clothing. Yeah, so before the end of the year, we'll have something for you guys.
Okay, well, when that time comes, we definitely have to talk because
Okay.
I host red carpets and events. I'm all about the fashion and opening up doors for other women who look like myself,
Yeah.
and breaking stereotypes that we don't love fashion, we don't love ourselves, and all that other nonsense. I'm so excited that you are designing a full-figured fashion line.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be incredible. It's beautiful. Yeah. I can't wait. I'm excited. I can't wait to drape them.
And I am a pipeline of many amazing full-figured models here in
Yeah.
Philadelphia.
Okay.
So I'm definitely up in support of that venture.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah.
So, so now who are some of your fashion influences, Anthony?
You know what? I love I love everything, like going back to Fubu all the way up to the Nietzsche's, and then Sean John came through, and then the John Barbados, a big fan of his. Ted Baker, he uses some nice colors. Um, All Saints, I like
Hmm.
the comfort of them. Um, what else I like? Um, Billy Reed. There's a young lady in Philly that does really well. Elle Revere. I like what she's doing. I think it's cutting edge. Kanye's line is dope. There's so much fashion out there. Yeah, so much fashion, and so much fashion that
And you're definitely a man who likes bright color. I love men who aren't afraid to wear vibrant color.
I like colors, man. I think I might as well use this old chocolate skin for something. Why not bounce off a good color on it?
Right? And too, color just like music, it changes your mood, your mind, your energy. And sometimes the easiest way to change your energy is put on something bright and colorful, and get your mind right.
Yeah, you know who does that very well too? Rich Fresh. He's doing a great job, man. He's an incredible designer. Um, I love what he's doing. Dirty Milk is another guy who uses nice colors. Antonio, and yeah, so much great energy coming through fashion. I can't wait to get back out there so I can put some clothes on. You know what I mean? And I want to put something on. I want to put it on. I want to put on some clothes and
Right?
go somewhere and do something.
Well, we just found out today they announced that they're going to be doing the Met Gala again. So I'm
Oh
excited.
wow.
We're slowly getting back to in steady steps.
Mm-hmm.
So now, in addition to your fashion, you also one of your passions is cooking. Another thing we share in common.
Mm-hmm.
So you recently, what was it, last year, you released your cookbook. So can you just talk a bit about your book and what are some of your favorite staples and
Yeah.
just how you found your passion in cooking?
Growing up in a Southern family who cooked, my dad, my mother, grandma and aunts, they cook, and it always made me feel good. And when I went off to New York, I had to learn how to fend for myself and to take care of myself. And so, before leaving home, I would make sure to pay attention. In the book, it's called Cornbread, Fish, and Collard Greens, and it's not really a cookbook. It's a book that goes behind the stories, goes into the music, but I put recipes in it,
Okay.
ingredients, and some of the things I have in it that I like to cook. I do a curry corn that's really amazing. When I was eating meat, I went through a stage where I was vegan for 2.5 years. Now I eat some seafood, keep a good balance. I'm like 90, 95, 90% plant-based. But before then, I do great lamb chops with curry corn and mustard sauce on the lamb chops. I do cabbage with whether it be pan-seared salmon or mashed
Okay.
potatoes, and my cabbage is incredible. My greens are really good, and I don't even really have to use meat if I don't want to. I know how to interpret that same taste. Um,
Okay.
I do a really mean vegan meatloaf and a vegan lasagna. Ah, and I have salmon spaghetti that's really great. Ooh,
Oh my gosh, this sounds amazing.
man, let me tell you. Night night.
A fellow foodie, and I don't know what it is about Italian food, soul food, and Chinese food. The more it sits in the refrigerator and the flavors marry and bloom, the better
you
it
know,
tastes. It's
it just
even
get
better on
yeah.
the second and third day than when it's fresh on the plate.
Yeah, man. It's yeah, it gets to marinate. It's the marination. It all starts to run in there together, man, and become like something even more spectacular. I was like, oh my God. This maybe it was too hot when I was eating it yesterday. I didn't really taste it as much as I'm tasting it now.
Well, I'm definitely going to have to pick up your book because I am a greens connoisseur.
Oh,
So
thank you.
I'll just, yes, I prefer ham based. That is my
Yeah.
favorite. But recently there's a restaurant, Kay's Kitchen here in Philly. I just found by accident, and they actually do a Szechuan kind of green, which it was really interesting. I wouldn't have
Mm.
thought to go in that direction, but it almost kind of had like a Szechuan Asian hot spice to it.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like, oh, like this isn't how I do it on the regular, but I could get down with it. I appreciate it a
Yeah,
little different.
you could do that. You can barbecue greens with a little bit of light barbecue sauce and onions and red and green peppers. You can do that, and just a hint of vinegar in them. It just gives it a different flavor. If you pair it with the right, uh, whether it be fish or vegan or whatever meat you protein you want.
And now for our fans who are getting excited on the feed here about your book, where can they go to get your cookbook? Well, your memoir slash cookbook.
Yeah, you can get it on Amazon and Kindle. It's available there, and most of the time when I'm touring, I have it with me. And you can go through my website, which will be up and running, revamped it, so it'll be up and running again in a couple days. So
Awesome.
get ready.
So now, when you're on tour and you're traveling, which praise God, okay, you got a few new dates coming. I know 2020 has just been so hard for artists and people who make their living behind the scenes with production and everything. Now, what are some must-have things on the road for you that keep you balanced and just kind of in your zen and keep your mind and your spirit right as you're going from city to city and though performing's great, it can also be draining, all the meet and greets and everything. So what's the must have that you always have on the road?
Candles. I love candles, and my oils, and just yeah, candles, and the right clothing to lounge in. I think is very
Mm.
important. But my candles, um, my oils, my tea tree, my lavender, and just incense and certain things like that. Great lotions. I love to have come out of the shower and put on the right body butters and the right lotions, and you know my clippers. I'm a barber stylist, so I gotta have my hair clippers. So if I need to trim up something, and no, it don't look like you know, I do too much around in here, but it takes great effort to make it look like this.
Right. Well, it's just like with makeup and fashion and
Mhm.
any creative medium. There's a lot of work that goes in behind the scenes to make it look like we just woke up like this, that
Yeah,
it just effortless.
yeah, man, it is. It is, and I don't mind putting in the work to feel amazing and to enjoy my space and time. I think it's very important.
Now,
My,
speaking
my little
of
doggy.
oh,
it's
yeah, how are you?
it's a golden doodle.
Aw.
Yeah.
And so now, speaking of amazing, this is just so inspiring. So you've actually performed at the White House several times. So originally, back in uh, President Barack Obama's administration, you were
Yeah.
part of the Black History Month tribute to, oh, sorry. Well, you were there.
Yeah, it was a tribute to the Smithsonian and Ray Charles.
That's it. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. It was a tribute for that. The first time I went and performed, me and Usher and um, uh, Demi Lovato, Sam Smith from Sam and Dave, um, Shalea. There's a few of us on there. Andra Day,
Mm.
Brittany from Alabama Shakes. So I remember this so well. Um, and that was the first time I went. And then the second time was I was invited to President Barack Obama's um, birthday party. Yeah, Stevie Wonder was there. Yeah, Common was there. Common was there at the birthday party as well. Yeah, we had a good time. It was a really
And
good
then
time.
you were just there again in February for President Biden's celebration of Black History Month. So now just talk to us from the behind the scenes of that. I mean, first of all, it must be very head trippy going into the White House, all these amazing icons. But then too, I imagine that there's a lot you have to go through behind the scenes, like the security and protocol, going in and out of the White House. So what was that whole experience like?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of details you have to. pay attention to and that they pay attention to. They have to vet you and make sure that your background is up to standard. Um, your ID, they run it. They run your social security number, and just do an overall check on who you are and what you represent, and the things you've been in your past, and how would it look inviting certain people into the White House with certain backgrounds. So thank God I was clean, and yeah, yeah, yeah.
fantastic, just to have that level of respect and acknowledgement to be invited with some of our fans here, shouting out. So getting a lot of love from ATL, and shout outs to Jill Scott and everybody for being up and engaged and showing Anthony. And of course, you can follow Anthony on his social media. Make sure that you're going to, because there's two Anthony Hamiltons, make sure you are going to official Anthony Hamilton, not only on Instagram, but on Facebook and YouTube to check out all his music videos and new songs content. And
Hello.
Anthony's still Philly Rain.
Hello.
So now Anthony's new song, "You Made a Fool of Me," is debuting on BET on Friday. Oh, hold on.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello? Yeah, we're still on. Yeah.
Hello.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
yeah, that's fine.
Can you hear me?
Oh, oh, that's fine. I
Hear me?
think we're just going a little extra because of all the static with the rain and this and that. But we're rocking and rolling.
Can you hear me? Hello. Hello. Hello, 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 hello.
Online on the internet,
Hello, 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 hello. Hello. Well, I don't know if anybody can see me or hear me. Hello, hello. Um, well, thank you all for tuning in, and thank you, Miss Laura, for making this possible. I had a great time, and hopefully we can do this again. All right. Peace.
all right, well, yeah, I had a little bit of connection issue. The site was crashing with all this rain, but we thank everybody for rocking with us. We lost Anthony there for a minute. I know he has another interview at 2:30, so I thank him for joining us today and just sharing all of his wisdom and just giving us an insight into all of his hits and his journey as an artist and a producer over his a decade-long career. So Friday, make sure you check out "You Made a Fool of Me" debuting on BET, and check out his new song. It's fantastic. We played it twice today, so you can get it on the replay. And you can catch our interview the rest of the week on London Energy Radio, Downtown Hot Radio, FM World Pakistan Radio, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, Spotify, Audible, your podcasts. Thanks for tuning in to this week. Sending you out on another block of Anthony